Thanks for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. We're free and available on all platforms. This episode is brought to you by Spotify Green Room. Download the Green Room app and find one of our Locked On rooms. On today's Locked On Yankees, we have quotes from Brian Cashman about Yankee fans and how the Yankees operate. And I'll share my thoughts about what he said. We have injury updates in October, and the ALCS had some controversy. And the NLCS had some exciting clutch hits. We'll talk about everything up next.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everyone. This is Stacey, the host of Locked On Yankees. Welcome to the show. It is Wednesday, October 20th. Baseball is very busy right now. Before we get into it, you can listen to Locked On Yankees in Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, Odyssey. You can tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On Yankees. You can watch us on YouTube. We're all over the place. We're worldwide, people. And there's a lot of stuff to talk about. I'm going to get right into it, really, because I'm going to skip through all the pleasantries, I guess you can say. Brian Cashman had some things to say about Yankee fans, basically calling everyone spoiled, saying they don't know what they're talking about with regards to how the Yankees operate and salaries and luxury tax. And I just found it amusing. I feel like he's being a bit defensive, which is understandable because people are sick and tired of the excuses that the Yankees ownership makes every time they don't make it far in the playoffs. And as I mentioned on yesterday's show, 2018, they were eliminated in the division series. 2019, they made it to the ALCS. 2020, eliminated in the division series. This year, eliminated in the wild card game. So they're getting worse. They're not getting better. And Yankee fans, as bratty as we are, as entitled as we are, I'll admit it, we want to see more. You're the Yankees. You have all this money to spend. And he had some really silly things to say about the Dodgers and their spending, calling them a unicorn, as if the Yankees can't spend just like the Dodgers. And it's not like they're not spending. They're spending a lot of money on Garrett Cole. It's just they're not spending in the right spots. They're hamstrung by Aaron Hicks never playing and being owed, was he owed $40 million, something to that effect? Luis Severino barely playing, them re-signing him. That was a disaster. And they're just not making smart decisions with their money. But they're also acting as if they can't spend the money. I don't know what they're doing. I don't. And we're 23 years into Brian Cashman, okay? So 98, 99, 2000, 2009, they're the championships. The Red Sox are in the ALCS again. They most recently won in 2018. They won in 2013. They won in 2007. They won in 2004. The Yankees have won one World Series since then. And since the last time the Yankees won and appeared in a World Series, because that's the last time they did both, they haven't even appeared in a World Series since 2009. The Red Sox have won twice. So Yankees have to do something. And Brian Cashman, I get why he's defensive, but he should expect it. And I don't think he should insult Yankee fans while he's doing that. I don't get it. But he said, this is what he said in a Zoom call. He pushed back at the idea that the Yankees ownership isn't all in on trying to win because the team once again stayed below the luxury tax. But they're not showing me that they're all in. They're not acting as if they're all in. You lost in the wild card game. You're not trying to really improve the team. You're doing stopgap stuff. And how much do you want to bet? The Yankees need a shortstop this season, and they're going to make every excuse in the book to not pick up Corey Seager or Carlos Correa, because those two guys are free agents. And they're going to do some sort of patchwork infield again because they don't want to spend the money on anyone. I'm almost willing to bet my hair, but not quite. But Cashman on a Zoom call said, I hate to say it, but how dare anybody, when somebody commits the amount of money to import Garrett Cole and to import Stanton, say that they're not all in on winning. Then, as I said, the Dodgers went above the $210 million competitive balance tax. They spent $267 million, according to Sport Track. Okay, that's way over 210. And Cashman said of the Dodgers, they might be a unicorn. This is why Yankee fans are annoyed. You're the Yankees. You're the Yankees. Stop. Do what you did in 2008, okay? Make everyone get angry at you for buying all the free agents like you did in 2008. Who cares about the luxury tax? People are back at the stadium. They're coming to see your half-assed product. I mean, let's be real. And just spend the money. Do it already. I swear, if they don't sign someone to play shortstop, I'm going to be so angry. Okay. It is clear that Gleyber Torres is better at second. Keep him there. Okay. He was fine at second base. Then they decided, oh, well, Didi's gone. We'll just plug in Gleyber there because he was a shortstop. He wasn't that great at shortstop. So why would you do that to him? This is why I know they're not all about winning. They say they are, but they're not. Because if they were all about winning, they would have done things completely different this year. Not that they're content to lose to their biggest rival in the wild card game. And I know that upset Cashman, but I feel like Hal was just like, ho hum, oh well, he's making money. What the hell does he care? That's what bothers me about the Yankees. The Yankees need to be like the Dodgers. The Yankees need to be like the Padres. The Padres didn't finish as good as they thought they were going to finish. They did a lot of stuff in the offseason to get guys, and they just had, injury issues, and it just didn't work out the way it should. But a lot of people were looking at the Padres before the season began and thought, wow, the Padres are doing what other teams should do. They're going out and getting people. That's what the Yankees need to do. I can't with Brian Cashman anymore. I really can't. His grace period is way over now. Okay. As I said, he's been here since 1998. And all of the championships that were won, 98, 99, and 2000, were really because of Bob Watson and Stick Michael and all the guys who did the stuff while George was suspended. So Cashman's real championship was the one he bought in 2009. And if the Yankees can't develop people, then buy them. Just be the Yankees. Be the evil empire that everyone claims you are. Just do it. Go into that role. Do it. That's what Yankee fans want. Thank you. I don't even know how to segue into this, but this episode is brought to you by Green Room. Green Room is the first social audio platform made for sports fans. The app is free to download, and once you're in, you can talk with fans, athletes, and insiders in real time about the Yankees and baseball. Green Room is the perfect place to start or join conversations about the league. You'll find fans just like you in Green Room for watch parties, debates, post-game breakdowns, and of course, reacting to big news or rumors. You can even find Locked On hosts across the NBA, MLB, and NHL. Sorry, my brain just stopped. I'll be joining the app soon, so be sure to get started and I'll meet you there. Go download the Green Room app now, currently available on all iOS devices. That includes iPads. Be sure to create a profile, link your Twitter account, and join the MLB group for the latest league updates. I know you'll find a ton of incredible rooms. Javi from Locked On Padres likes to have rooms, and he's a lot of fun to talk to. I can't wait to join you all on the app. I'll be sure to let you know once the Locked On Yankees room is live. Download Green Room today. Green Room, changing the way we talk sports. Thanks again for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. We're free and available on all platforms. So, enough about me bitching about Brian Cashman and his silly comments. Now let's talk about the other Yankee news that's going on. DJ LeMahieu had surgery back on the 12th to fix that sports hernia that sidelined him. down the stretch and probably affected him more than anyone was letting on. The procedure has an 8-week recovery, so he'll be healthy before spring training, if there's spring training, because the CBA expires. There might be some tension between the players and the owners. So, let's keep our fingers crossed that the season actually starts on time, but I don't know. After what happened last year with the COVID stuff and the owners and the players going back and forth on how many games they wanted to play, and it was kind of contentious then, and it scares me that the CBA expires. Jamison Tyone is scheduled to have surgery this month. He's going to repair that. Well, he's not going to. The doctor is. Repair the torn tendon in his right ankle that derailed the last part of his first season with the Yankees. And that was a bummer because he was really getting going. He had a couple of missteps, but I think it was really just him hitting the wall because he was coming back from Tommy John surgery. It was his first full season. And then the ankle injury happened. So that was a bit of a bummer. Aaron Hicks, who's been out since May because of the torn tendon sheath in his left wrist, should be healthy by next month, and he could play winter ball. Luke Voigt does not need another surgery. Darren O'Day, do you remember Darren O'Day? He pitched for the Yankees this season. He's expected to be ready for opening day. He had surgery on his left hamstring. He really hurt his leg. He has a player option, so he might be back next season. That was a bummer. I was kind of excited about Darren O'Day and his funky delivery being on the Yankees, and then he got hurt and we never saw him again. Clint Frazier, Brian Cashman mentioned him yesterday, saying that Frazier is in contact with the medical staff. It's a weekly basis thing. Like he checks in, lets them know what's going on. And they're really trying to figure out with Frazier's doctors why the dizziness and fogginess that he's been experiencing has been going on for so long. And Frazier's been at home in Atlanta since leaving the Yankees minor league facility in Tampa. He was down there trying to come back from this. And, concussion symptoms are scary enough, but the fact that he's still feeling stuff this long after that concussion is really scary. And head injuries are, a frightening thing. And when they don't heal correctly, having dizziness and fogginess all the time is not fun. I have vertigo, and when you're in an episode of vertigo and it just doesn't go away, it's really bad. I'm not saying he has vertigo, but I know what it's like to feel dizzy and feel out of it, and it is not fun at all. And I really hope they figure out what's wrong with this kid. I really hope that his career doesn't end because of this. That would be really sad. I've mentioned it many times on this podcast. I've been doing it for 3 years. I love his bat speed. And when he's good, he's good. And he showed it last year. And I just really wish for good things for Clint Frazier. Let's all do that. So let's discuss. First, we'll discuss the NLCS. Okay. So the Dodgers found themselves in quite a pickle. Down 0-2 after 2 walk-offs in Atlanta. They found themselves down 5-2 in the late innings at home to Atlanta. Atlanta was staring at a 3-0 lead and hoping they would get it. And then Cody Bellinger, who did not have a good regular season, steps up and ties the game. Not only that, the pitch that he hit, he had no business hitting that pitch. Luke Jackson did not throw a bad pitch. Now, if you didn't watch the game, Cody Bellinger swung at a pitch, I would say it was shoulder height. So it was actually a really good pitch by Luke Jackson. Most guys would have swung through it and struck out or, had a strike. And Bellinger hit it for a 3-run home run. Reporters asked Jackson after the game if he would throw that pitch again. He goes, every time. And I agree with him. Who hits that pitch? No one hits that pitch. It's like a 1 in 1,000, chance that someone would actually hit that pitch way well. All right, it's not like he hit it up here, but yeah, that was amazing. And the Dodgers needed it because, only the Yankees allow teams to come back after being down 0-3 in a series to win. Anyway, so that was exciting for the Dodgers, not exciting for the Braves. So now it's 2-1 heading into game 4. The ALCS had some controversy last night. But I'll talk about that in segment 3, because let's talk about the fact that the playoffs have been a bit of a slog. Games are long, too many pitching changes, too many bullpen games. starters aren't lasting long, 4 innings, 5 innings. Starters aren't even starting. Again, bullpen games, they have openers instead, and then the starter will come in the second inning or whenever the hell they come in. Um, the majority of the games have been 9-inning games. A bunch of them have been over 4 hours, and most of them are over 3.5 hours. Rob Manfred must be twitching in his office because of all these changes that they tried to make the pace of play better and make it not be bad to watch baseball or boring to watch baseball and sit there and think to yourself, "Oh my god, this game has been on for 3 hours. It's the longest thing ever." And that's what it feels like in the playoffs. These playoffs are not going to attract new fans. People are gonna wanna turn the game off because you have pitching even the 3 batter minimum thing isn't working because they're still making too many pitching changes. Like I said, they have all those bullpen games, so you see, like, 6 or 7 guys pitching in every game. The starters don't last. It's just it's not good, and no one's gonna wanna watch it. I mean, I don't know how the ratings are. I really don't. I haven't really watched either league championship. I watched most of game 1 between Atlanta and the Dodgers, but it felt so long, and I just thought, I don't wanna sit through this," and I didn't feel like I wanted to watch anything else. I definitely am not watching Boston and the Astros because I'd rather watch a colonoscopy at this point. But there's just a lot of problems. The games are slow. The umpires are terrible, and we'll get into that more in segment 3 because that is a big part of why last night's game in Boston was controversial. People were joking about how bad the umpiring crews were when they announced them as the playoffs were starting, but these guys are living up to their reputations and just you can't be bad like that on a national stage. You just can't. And the umpires are just atrocious. It's so bad. And it's beyond the TV broadcasts having the square. They're just proving that they're not good. And it's not great. People are actually wanting robots now. Not actual robots. That would be really cool. If they could put actual robots behind the plate, that'd be great. But I think they're thinking more of the like the system they have in tennis. They have to do something. It's bad. You can't have umpiring this bad during the playoffs. You can't have games this slow during the playoffs. No one's going to want to watch baseball next season. No new fans are going to want to watch baseball next season. It's just too much. So did you know that Built Bar has so many delicious flavors? There's something for everyone. And when you talk to a Built Bar fan, they're definitely passionate about their favorites. I am passionate about mint brownie. Jason Burke of Locked On A's loves cherry barcia. And Bryce Patrick also likes mint brownie. Bryce of Locked On Rangers, the Texas version. The other flavors you need to know about: coconut, raspberry, double chocolate, salted caramel, strawberry, orange, cookies and cream, German chocolate. If you haven't tried all 9 flavors, you can get a mixed box where you get 2 of each of the 9 flavors. There are also specialty flavors that come out. And if you are a Built Bar customer, you will get emails to let you know when those flavors come out, and a lot of them are really good. Built Bars are not only the best tasting protein bars, but they're healthy too. They're high in protein, low in calories, low in sugar, and they're just good for you. Built Bar is the official protein bar of the U.S. track and field team, which is pretty cool. Go to built.com and use our promo code LOCKED15 and you'll get 15% off your order. Again, I suggest getting the mixed box. You get the mixed box, try all the flavors, figure out what you like, and then just order everything over and over and over again like I do. Again, use our promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off at built.com. Now, how much do you want to bet that there's going to be something crazy happening in this afternoon's, because the Astros Red Sox game starts in about an hour, that there's something crazy going on in that game? Well, speaking of betting, BetOnline is back and better than ever. A new web interface to start the basketball season, which starts this week, and more props, odds, and lines more than ever. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the basketball and football action this season. Head to our new updated desktop or mobile website to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code Locked On to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, baseball postseason, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games, don't wait to take advantage of all the amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. So let's discuss last night. Okay. So, as I said, when the umpiring assignments came out for the playoffs, people were up in arms. You know, people like Angel Hernandez got prime spots, Joe West, Laz Diaz, I believe CB Buckner. Have we seen CB Buckner? I hope they're not saving him for the World Series. Dear God. Anyway, um, Laz Diaz, he had some issues in Tuesday night's game in Boston. Now, I will say there was an egregiously bad strike call on JD Martinez that happened. The ball was like 5 inches off the plate. Okay. So I'll give them that. But I think because Laz Diaz's strike zone was so bad all night that when the Astros were up in the ninth inning, he missed a borderline pitch. Now, looking at it, you would think it would be called a strike, but it could have gone either way. But like I said, he had a rough time behind the plate all night. And the fact that he missed that pitch, and then the Astros ended up with, it was 2 outs and 2 strikes, and he didn't call strike 3 on that ball. And then the Astros went on to score 7 runs. So everyone in Boston, if you didn't know that happened last night, I'm sure you heard them whining overnight. If you heard some sort of noise while you were in your bed, it was all of Boston whining about this. I understand, because if it were the Yankees, I would have been bitching too. But because it wasn't the Yankees, I think it's the funniest thing ever. And, the Red Sox had a chance to go up 3-1 in the series. So, wait, 3-1? Right? Yeah, because Game 5 is tonight. I can math. Yay. Okay, anyway. And yes, it was tied 2-2 going into the bottom of the ninth, but we all know how things go in Fenway. So if the Astros hadn't scored, if the Astros were called, that strike 3 was called against the Astros and the Red Sox came up, for damn sure the Red Sox would have walked off. But they did not. And the Astros basically buried them. There was no way they were going to score 7 runs. I mean, I know I like to joke about the Red Sox cheating in Fenway. And, if they had scored like 4 or 5 runs in the bottom of the ninth, I would have thought something was up, but they didn't. They went down pretty quietly in the bottom of the ninth. But I get being upset about Laz Diaz's missed call, but it wasn't as egregious as that one call against JD Martinez. But someone put the heat map up. He missed a lot of calls. He missed a lot. It was bad. And I don't understand how guys like Joe West, okay, he got the wild card assignment because he's retiring after this year. So I understand that. But guys like Angel Hernandez shouldn't even be an ump after the 2018 division series. Remember that? We got how many calls did he get wrong at first base during that one game? So I don't understand the evaluation process. I don't understand how they choose these guys, because someone put a chart up when they put the assignments out for the division series and the LCSs, and someone said that the majority of umps in those series were rated at the bottom. Why? Why would you put people like that on the national stage for them to screw up and make things controversial? Do you think that's going to bring people into baseball and make them watch? No one's watching for the umpires. They're watching for the teams. I don't understand. Someone needs to explain this to me. I understand it's a union. They can't fire these guys, but something needs to be done. They can't have guys like Laz Diaz behind the plate during an LCS game, during a pivotal LCS game. Whew. Because there's a big difference between 3-1 and 2-2. Because the Astros still have a good chance of, even if they lose tonight, they go back home and have those 2 games that they can win at home against Boston. They go down 3-1. That's a big swing. It really is. Even though it's only a 1-game difference, the difference between 2-2 and 3-1 is big. Just like the difference between 3-0 and 2-1 is big, which is why the Cody Bellinger home run was such a big deal. And then the Dodgers went on to win 6-5. So, as boring as the games have been just because of how bad the pitching decisions have been, by the way, Nathan Eovaldi was pitching when all that stuff happened last night. Let's go through that because it was unorthodox. Yeah, he got the loss last night, and his ERA is now 10.50 in the LCS because of that inning. Or not even an inning. It was 2/3 of an inning. He gave up 4 runs on 2 hits with 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. And then Martin Perez. Yes, Martin Perez came in, gave up 3 more runs. 2 of them were earned in 1/3 of an inning. So, yeah, it was bad for Boston. But right now, his ERA is 9. Evaldi's is 10.50 because these guys are putting their starters in. The pitching decisions are just mind-boggling to me. I'm not one of those. I mean, okay. I grew up in the 80s, so, I watched guys pitch until their arms came off. It wasn't that surprising when someone threw 120 pitches. Now it's shocking if someone goes over 100. And I don't mind quirky pitching decisions, but not every game. What is going on? Like, I don't understand. It's not making the games fun. It really isn't. So I don't know who's telling the managers to do this stuff, but it needs to stop. It's not good. Stop. Although, I am happy that the Red Sox lost last night because if they had gone up 3-1, it would be insufferable. So at least, again, 2-2 is a big difference. And this afternoon's game should be fun. Actually, let's see who's going to be behind the plate because let's see, who was the first base ump last night? Jim Wolf. All right, Jim Wolf isn't terrible, but he is a well-known umpire. And, if you know an umpire's name, it's usually not for a good reason. So, yeah. And after that, in Houston, Alan Porter will be behind the plate, and then David Rackley. So Alan Porter isn't that great either. Oh, good luck with that, guys. So anyway, Brian Cashman thinks the Yankee fans are brats. I kind of agree, but I'm one of those bratty people who thinks that he should spend more money and Hal should allow him to spend more money. So yeah. Then the Dodgers have made it a series again. There was controversy in Boston. And yeah, I mean, what are you going to do? If you have crappy umpires in the LCS game, crappy things are going to happen to your team. What can you do? So that's it for this episode of Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'd like to remind you that you can listen to this show in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher. You can watch us on YouTube and subscribe and like and comment and do all that good stuff. You can get into your car, tell your smart device to play podcast Locked On MLB. Now you can make your second listen Locked On MLB. Paul Francis Sullivan, please call him Sully, brings you his unique perspective on the major leagues, both past and present, and it's free and available on all platforms. One more thing, if you could be so kind, please rate this podcast and spread the word about this podcast to your fellow Yankee fans. We would really appreciate it. So enjoy your Wednesday, and I will talk to you all tomorrow.